I'm Chris Wallace in for Brett Baer. U.S. intelligence indicates Libyan leader Muammar al-Gaddafi is considering leaving Tripoli for a more secure location outside the capital to get away from NATO airstrikes. But in Congress, both Republicans and Democrats express growing opposition to the U.S. role in that NATO campaign. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron has more.
In a harsh bipartisan rebuke of the president's Libya policy, House lawmakers soundly defeated a resolution that would have authorized the president's military action in Libya for a year. The lopsided 123 to 295 vote was laced with bipartisan frustration at the commander-in-chief.
The president has yet to explain just what American interests are at stake and just what outcomes he is hoping to achieve.
A lawful premise for this Libyan operation does not exist.
More than a third of Democrats joined all but 8 Republicans to deny authorization. Anti-war liberals accused the commander-in-chief of violating the Constitution nearly 4 months ago when airstrikes on Libya began.
It's unconstitutional. Article 1, Section 8 has given the Congress the power to declare war.
Others charged the president with violating the War Powers Act by not obtaining congressional authorization within 90 days of beginning, quote, hostilities.
The War Powers Act is the law of the land, and if we don't stand up for it now, when will we? And if this president won't obey it, which president will?
Lawmakers trashed the administration's claim that the president doesn't need authorization because U.S. soldiers in Libya are not engaged in, quote, hostilities.
I believe that argument shows contempt for the Constitution and for the executive's co-equal branch of government, the United States Congress.
Defeat of the non-binding resolution is a blow to the commander-in-chief's clout well beyond the halls of Congress. Then came an actual bill to limit funding for U.S. operations in Libya, backed by House Speaker John Boehner.
When the president chooses to challenge the powers of the Congress, I, as Speaker of this House, will defend the constitutional authority of the legislature.
But there were staunch warnings that defunding operations would put the U.S. military and reputation at risk, along with NATO and the Libyan people.
America has a responsibility to finish this through, to stand with our allies. To leave now means Gaddafi wins, period.
In the end, the administration took solace that the Boehner-backed measure was defeated on a bipartisan vote of 180 to 238.
Ultimately, we are gratified that the House has decisively rejected efforts to limit funding for the Libyan mission.
But that's not much consolation for a president like Barack Obama, who got elected promising to not use military might without clear justification and public support, and just had it denied by the people's representatives in Congress, including those in his own party. Chris?
Carl.